Hey, welcome to Fanatical Siderider. Today I'm making a video about when to use your low gear or your high gear in your side-by-side. I've had a few viewers comment and they want to know when to use those gears. And I understand that because, you know, maybe they're new to the side-by-side ATV world and they're just not sure. So let's explain it. First of all, myself, I use the high gear when I'm doing higher speeds, you know, like 40, 50, 60 kilometers per hour, or maybe faster, or I'm on wide open trails, flat trails, and I got it in high gear and I'm going. I'm mostly in high gear. But like last summer, I tried out some new trails. One set of ATV trails in particular was Nefton ATV trails. Now you may not know that trail, but it's okay. So what it is, it's a medium technical trail system. A lot of hills, rocks, creeks, that sort of thing, tight turns through the woods, but mostly a lot of rock and a lot of up and down hills. So in those situations, I rode a lot in low gear because those conditions call for some load on your ATV or your side-by-side. And sometimes when I'm going down a trail where I can use high gear and I'm going at a good rate of speed, and all of a sudden we come to a steep hill, I will actually come to a stop, put it in low for that hill, because I notice if I'm driving in high gear and I get going up a steep hill, especially if there's rocks not to go over, I find I don't have the power and it's hard on my machine. It's struggling. So I drop it in low gear, it's going to work great in those conditions. Now, another reason you may want to use your low gear is if you're in a muddy, watery area. Like last year I was on these trails and we got into some mud and it was really thick, goopy stuff, but not really deep, but enough to hold me in there. So I used the low gear with the diff lock on and I got out of it. And that's another thing, diff lock, I've hardly ever used that, like twice I've needed to use it. But in those conditions, that's definitely a low gear condition. Also, if you're hauling something with your side-by-side or your ATV, like maybe you're hauling wood with a trailer or moving your camper around your property, anything, you're hauling something, always use low gear. Anytime I move the side-by-side around here, like I take it out in the driveway or I go over to my wood pile, just short little distances that I'm not using speed, I always use low gear. Like right now, just moving the side-by-side here to do this video, I use low gear. And that's another thing. I'm so happy to be using my CFORCE 800 in another video. Yes, it's for sale. I haven't sold it yet. So it's still fun to make videos with it. I'm really going to miss it. Unless my wife wins the lottery, I'll be getting rid of it. I've gone through shallow rivers and played along the shallow part of lakes. I use low gear. If you're in sand, probably if it's loose sand, using low gear is good too. But like I say, myself, I find that most times I only use high gear because I'm sailing along pretty good on some trails. It's only those technical trails in certain conditions like lakes, rivers, mud, hills, rocks that I'm using low gear. Like in low gear, I can get up to about 32, 35 kilometers per hour, but it's revving high. It's starting to scream at that speed. So I just know I've been riding toys all my life, but I know that that is the limit. I don't really want to push it too much further than that. If I find that I can go faster than that, that the trail allows me to go faster than 32 to 35 kilometers per hour, I will stop and put it in high gear. And then if the demand is there for low gear again, I will put it in low again. So basically that's it. It's not really hard to figure out. If you hear that machine revving really high, you know it's time to switch back to high gear if the conditions allow it. And another reason you may want to use low gear is if you're plowing snow with it. Definitely use your low gear then. So I hope this helps anyone out who is wondering when to use low or high gear. I believe it will tell you in your manual when to use those gears as well. And with that, I'd like to thank you for watching and we'll see you on the next video.